So when going back to your teacher scenario, Das, when you were challenging them, I'm curious to know the teacher's response. Can you remember any sort of teachers that loved the challenge, or did they see that as like, no, don't question my authority, shut up and listen? Curious, like, was there any standouts in your mind of people where you were like, man, this teacher gets it, or at least gets me?
Yeah, I would say the more interesting times were university, because at university you're given, you think you're on top of the world and you think you're 20 years old and you think you've figured out how the entire world works and what the governments should all be doing and all of this stuff. You think you've got it all as you sit there and smoke a joint and drink a beer because, the whole world just revolves around you.
Yeah.
But I remember in those classes...
while you argue with people just for fun.
Yeah, exactly. Just for fun. About, like, Marxism, which I still don't know the definition of. Whatever. Like,
I love that. I love, political discussions or ideologies, and you're like, I know all about this. But you're like, I know jack. I don't know anything.
And then, like, you just hear people talk about, oh, yeah, that's just like a left-wing neo-Marxist remark, though. And you're like, what? Yeah, okay, I'll agree. Actually, yeah, I'll agree and look smart here.
Yeah, it's like when Peterson always says, oh, they're just a postmodern neo-Marxist. And you're like, yeah, of course. That's exactly what I would describe.
Yeah, what Peterson was thinking was exactly what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, I know everything about post-neo. Okay, right. It's like, what? Anyway.
Yeah. There was one. I remember one specific university. It was a psychology and psychophysiology class. And this guy was talking about the idea of building rapport. And so he was like, and this is just me being a smart ass, I just liked to do it. But basically he was saying how rapport is such a big thing when you're dealing with a client. He was talking about how he'd been a psychologist for 10 years and he said that he noticed if on their client form they mentioned that their hobbies were football and, games or whatever. He's like, you always want to build rapport, guys. This is really important. So when they come in, if I've noticed they've written like football on there, I'll talk about how I like football as well. And that helps to build rapport with people. And of course, I couldn't stand that because I don't believe that's the case at all. It doesn't really build any rapport. I said to him, so I was like, so you would understand how the brain functions with communication. You'd understand that the words that we say are like 10% of communication. The rest is like 90% is unconscious in body language tonality. He's like, yes, absolutely. That's actually a really good point. That's true. I said, so wouldn't it help to actually build rapport with the unconscious mind, not the conscious one? And I actually remember he said, he's like, yeah. And the whole class was quiet. And he's like, we'll talk about that later if you want. You come talk to me in private after class. And I was like, that's the perfect example. You stood up there, you said what was comfortable to say, and I don't reckon you even believe it. And if you do believe it, then you're even in more trouble because you're a shit psychologist and you're not helping people, and people are paying you money for you not to help them. And that's a more dangerous situation. And not only that, you defended being right. And so was I. That's the thing. Like I would have defended being right in that situation as well. But there wasn't even a discussion about it. There wasn't even it was like, yeah, hush, hush. Come talk to me later when we're not in front of the whole class. And I was like, this system, this classroom is broken. It's crap. It doesn't work. This isn't education. This is just you giving us facts. And then we were going to get a test at the end of the semester where if we remembered what you said correctly and put the right multi-choice circles down, then we get an A+, and then we associate that with someone who is smart. Are you kidding me? Is that honestly what the world needs more of right now? People who can remember what the teacher said. Yeah. That is ridiculous. It's broken. So anyway.
It's broken. It's so broken.
So that's... That has always just sat in me as they say you know your values by what makes you angry, right? So like if you notice what really annoys you, the opposite of that is usually your value because it's rubbing up against a value of yours. And a major value of mine is education and growth. And I think it's always just rubbed me up the wrong way when I can sense I'm in a situation that parades around as education, yet is doing the exact opposite.